All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go once again from Five Flags. Devin McDonald and David Lutz will have the front row. Chris Johnson, Zach Mead on the second. Austin Edwards and Austin Ruskoff have the third row. Joe Lux, Mark Dantum on the fourth. Brian Hewitt, Ryan McDaniels round out the top 10. John Berry picking Chris Johnson for the win tonight. We'll see if it rings true. Or can Devin McDonald sweep the night here at Five Flags? Everybody stacked up and ready to go. Now remember that first couple, you see a lot of drivers trying to get some heat into the tires. Already, everybody knows on cold tires these cars are loose. They figured that out in practice, and everybody trying to get some heat in them quickly. Pace car dives in. Here we go. Green flag is in the air. The season opener of the Super Late Models World Class Short Track Series is underway. And Devin McDonald quickly to the lead. Lux slides to the bottom in second. Austin Edwards up into fourth. Zach Mead in fifth. Does appear a few of the drivers taking it easy as Austin Edwards moves to third. Some of the drivers, oh no, Devin's way loose. Out of turn two, he is slipping back. David Lux now to the lead. Devin slips back now to fourth. He's stuck up on the high side. Mead now looking underneath. I'm doing great, Songbird. Austin Edwards already up to second, right on Lux's back bumper. The final season of Jones BS Racing, we saw these two battle it out numerous times. Lux is not going to let Austin get to the lead easily. Chris Johnson now in third, Zach Mead in fourth. Devin McDonald gets down in line in fifth. Austin Ruskoff in sixth. Mark Dantuma in seventh. Brian Hewitt in eighth. Ryan McDaniel in ninth. And Joe Lux in 10th. As Austin Edwards looks for the lead on David Lux. Side by side into 1 and 2. Lux trying to power out of the turn. But Austin just keeps pulling ahead and takes the lead. And whoa! Austin a little drift, but it was enough for Lux to go under. And Chris Johnson to second. Take a look at this from the chopper. Was there some contact? Austin comes out of turn 2, gets a better run down the backstretch into turn 3. Finally clears. Lux immediately goes, oh, just a little love tap on the front stretch. Definitely an eventful start to this one. Lux back in the lead. Chris Johnson in second. Austin Edwards in third. Zach Mead in fourth. Devin McDonald in fifth. Joe Lux has had a problem. He has taken it to pit road. We will not see the caution. There's Joe out of turn 4, back in, just steps out. Ryan gets loose too, gets into him. Let's take a look down from the chopper, watching Ryan McDaniel back behind. Now both of them get loose, just a tandem drift. But man, Joe definitely had the rougher end of that. David Lux starting to open up a gap on Chris Johnson. Austin Edwards in third has lost some ground. Zach Mead now right on his bumper, and Devin McDonald right behind. Now Devin underneath. And Devin McDonald quick makes it look easy. Goes by Zach Mead and takes fourth. Lux continuing to pull away from Chris Johnson. They have 100 laps. They have to manage the tires here. If this thing stays green, nobody's going to pit road. Devin McDonald now back up into third, comes past Austin. Sets his sights on Chris Johnson in second. Devin has been fast out here all night long. Joe Lux is back out on track, and David Lux is going to be the first one to catch him. Zach Mead back in fifth, Austin Ruskoff in sixth, Mark Dantuma surprisingly in seventh. He moved forward throughout that Tour Mod race. We'll see as the tires wear if he starts coming through the field. Brian Hewitt currently in 8th, Ryan McDaniel in 9th. Ryan does have a bit of damage to the front of that car. Aero's not hugely important here, but it does play a part. You have to wonder if the damage to his right front is slowing him down. Wow, he went way high through 1 and 2. And David Lux will be in lap traffic before long. Lux already has a 1 second lead on Chris Johnson. Devin McDonald now up into third. Austin Edwards is losing ground. Austin Ruskoff is on the attack. Ruskoff on the bottom, Edwards up top. And both of them are pushing it, both right on the edge. Edwards pulls ahead, but they're still side by side. Edwards has the advantage coming out of the turn up top. But whoa, Ruskoff really pushed it out of 4 that time. Zach Mead right behind, just hoping for an opening or a mistake by one of these two. And Mark Dantuma closing in. As Austin Ruskoff pulls into 4th. And Austin Edwards is fading. Trying to get a look at Edwards' car. We never saw it get into the wall or have any damage. But one of the fastest cars out there suddenly isn't. Meanwhile, David Lux has checked out. He has a 1.8 second lead over Devin McDonald. Devin now in second, Chris Johnson in third. David Lux and Devin McDonald battled throughout the Tour Mod race. Devin came out ahead on that one. Can Lux pull it off this time? Zach Mead has pulled back up into 4th, getting past Ruskoff for the moment. Mark Dantuma has pulled back up as well. Dantuma currently in 6th. Definitely one of the drivers to watch in the long run. But he goes wide out of 2. Looks like he just let Austin by. McDonald starting to pull away from Chris Johnson, but still 2 seconds behind the leader. Zach Mead in 4th, about 1.1 seconds behind Chris. Austin Edwards is coming in. This is unexpected. He is going to go a couple laps down. Will he take tires? Yes, he is taking on tires. Looks like right sides only, and he is away. Oh! David Lux had a problem, lost a lot of ground, and Devin has caught him. All right, let's take a look at what happened to Lux. Gets way too deep into 1 and 2. Goes for a little drift. And it was just enough. Devin was able to close that 2-second gap. David Luck still holds on to the lead, but that big gap he had pulled earlier is gone. Now Devin right on his bumper. Zach Mead and Austin Ruskoff have caught up to Chris Johnson. Just at the halfway point, Luck still out front. And Zach Mead is looking underneath Chris Johnson. Ruskoff's going to stay right there, hope to take the spot. Mead is by, Ruskoff underneath. Austin Edwards is back out on track after that tire change. But he is going to need a caution to get back into the fight. Lux is starting to pull away from McDonald for the moment. Zach Mead now into third, Austin in fourth, and Chris Johnson back into fifth. It is a big surprise to see both Chris Johnson and Austin Edwards struggling here tonight. Mark Dantuma now in sixth, Brian Hewitt in seventh, Austin Edwards in eighth, Ryan McDaniel in ninth, Joe Lux in 10th. Lux has definitely changed his line around the track, has moved it up a lane, and it is really working for him. Zach Mead in third, about 1.5 seconds behind Devin McDonald. Austin Ruskoff, though, may be a bit faster. He keeps looking underneath. Hey, good evening, Gerald. It has been peculiar since the drop of the green. Lux's lead now back over 9/10 of a second over Devin McDonald. Zach Mead in third. Austin Ruskoff looking underneath. Chris Johnson now back in fifth. Dan Tuma in sixth. Brian Hewitt in seventh. Lux's lead now 1.1 seconds. He is pulling away from Devin. Zach Mead and Austin Ruskoff are getting closer. Now just 3/4 of a second behind Devin. Gerald, they can go the distance. Ryan McDaniel is in unexpectedly. We knew he had some damage to the car and it appeared to be slowing him down. Looks like he is going to bring it in and get it fixed. Does look like Ryan is taking on tires as well. Meanwhile, David Lux continues to check out. Zach Mead, Austin Ruskoff continue to get closer to Devin McDonald. Chris Johnson still holding on to fifth, but it looks like Austin Edwards is going to unlap himself the old-fashioned way. Since taking on tires, he has been charging. And he only took right side tires on his stop. Meanwhile, the leader now into lap traffic, looking underneath Brian Hewitt. Joe Lux has had a problem. And the first caution of the night is out. Wow. Joe Lux has towed to pit road. Now the question is, will the leaders come in? Let's take a look at what happened to Joe. There's Joe coming out of turn two. It gets big loose. Hits the inside fence, gets clipped, and goes around. Right in front of the leaders. All right, everybody came in. Everybody on the lead lap came in except Austin Ruskoff. Brian Hewitt also staying out. David Lux, Chris Johnson, Devin McDonald, Zach Mead, Mark Dantuma all came in. Based on their times on pit road, Lux and Johnson took 2 tires. Everybody else took 4. We saw Austin Edwards take 2 tires earlier in the race, and it really helped that car. Brian Hewitt is coming in. Austin Ruskoff, now the only car that has stayed out. David Lutz on the high side. They have the front row. This is definitely going to make an interesting restart with about 24 to go at the line. The green flag is back in the air. Ruskoff ahead into 1 and 2. But Lux on those 2 fresh tires. Big run. Out of turn 2. David Lux reclaims the lead. Devin McDonald back into second. Austin Ruskoff still fighting to hold on. But Devin may clear out of 4. Zach Mead is around. Into the inside wall, no caution. David Lux just set the fastest lap of the race. We're not going to see the caution. Let's take a look at what happened to Meade. There's Zach in the middle of that group. Oh, just on the power too much too soon. Goes around, kisses the inside wall. Zach Meade was one of the drivers that took 4 tires. We talked about it earlier, how loose these cars are on fresh tires. And David Lux is checked out. Looks like there's a bit of, whoa! Devin McDonald was completely sideways out of 4. And Devin's car has become a handful. Let's take a look at what happened to Devin McDonald a few moments ago. We had seen Devin up there battling for second. Oh, big loose out of 2, slams the outside wall. One of the fastest cars on track just lost a lot of ground. And that gave David Lutz a 2-second lead. Folks, don't forget, if you missed any of tonight's race, you'll find them on our YouTube channel later tonight or in the morning in beautiful 4K. Lux continuing to extend his lead, now 2.1 seconds over Chris Johnson. Mark Dantuma has made his way into 3rd. Austin Ruskoff slips back to 4th, Devin in 5th. Brian Hewitt, Zach Meade, and Austin Edwards. 6th, 7th, and 8th. Ryan McDaniel back in 9th. I thought Austin had gotten back on the lead lap under the caution. I was mistaken. I'll try and make sure to get a close-up for you, Gerald. Don't forget, folks, we do have a lot of racing leagues off right now. David Lutz is having connection problems. We have a lot of leagues off, but the Unicorn and I will be keeping you folks entertained in the evening. May even get her to do some NASCAR 25. And we do have racing with Home Motorsports on Thursday night, and C12's winter season and SMR's winter seasons are coming very soon. Ryan McDaniel has had a problem. 5 to go. He has gone to pit road. Lux's connection is stabilized. He's just got to hold on for 4 more laps. And here we go, 3 laps to go vote for David Lux. It has been a long-running joke that his nickname would not get changed until he beat somebody like Austin Edwards. Well, he's going to beat Chris Johnson, Austin Edwards, and Devin McDonald tonight. And back to victory lane as David Lux comes around. The white flag flies one more time around for David Lux. He's got a 2.3 second lead as he goes through 3 and 4. David Lux will win at 5 flags. Chris Johnson makes an impressive comeback for second. And Mark the Man D'Antuma pulls off third. What an eventful race. Just when it looked like it was settled, everything got shook up again, but David Lux able to overcome everything tonight. And let's see if we can get a word with our top 3, starting with Mark the Man D'Antuma. Mark, first part of this race, man, you looked a little off pace, but once you got into the long run, about lap 30, you started moving forward. Didn't look like you wanted that caution. Mark, you there? Hey, Mark. Okay, we'll try and get a word again with Mark here in a few minutes. Let's talk to second place, Chris Johnson. Chris, the first half of that race, you looked terrible, but you managed to come back for second.
Yeah, I was struggling there for a little bit. Once I touched that wall that one time, it's like you have to get a quick repair to gain that little bit back. But it was a good night.
It definitely seemed like very minor impacts and injuries to the car tonight had a huge impact on the speed of the car.
It did. That's the same thing that happened to Austin. He ended up getting that quick repair and going a lap down, hoping for another caution. He just didn't get his luck.
Well, man, that was a heck of a run and a heck of a comeback tonight, buddy. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you, Doug.
See if we can get a word with Mark one more time. Hey, Mark, you got me?
I got you. What's up, Doug?
Man, a heck of a run tonight, but I have to say, if this thing had stayed green, I thought you might have a shot at the win. After about 30 laps, the first 30 you were kind of lagging there, but after that 30 lap mark, you started moving.
Yeah, first few laps, I was basically scared of the car, I guess would be the way to put it. It just it didn't want to stay underneath me. So once I got a little heat in, everybody's tires started to fall off. I started to move forward. But yeah, this Navy Joe Coffee Company, Holmes and Wisely, super late model was hauling anchor there towards the end.
It definitely was. You managed to avoid a little bit of chaos, too, to come home in third. Man, a heck of a finish tonight.
Thank you, Doug.
And finally, our winner, David Lux. David, a while back, I was told you would not get your nickname changed until the night you beat Austin Edwards. Well, you beat Austin, you beat Chris, you won at 5 flags, and you beat Devin, which you two were back and forth quite a bit for a while.
Well, Devin almost beat me there because I stepped on my wheelie. Right on my talent.
Yeah.
On the backstretch, and I had to kind of block him. I'm not gonna lie to you. But
You definitely had your hands full with that one. We saw how loose you got, and man, I gotta give it to you. That was a heck of a save considering how out of shape that car was.
yes, yeah. This is, so I'm a return to the supers. That's what I actually started iRacing on, so they're not new to me. It's kind of my home base, so
I feel you there, because, man, it used to be one of my favorite cars to run, and I'd be in them all the time, but, man, you definitely earned it tonight. A heck of a win, buddy.
well, I gotta win at 5 Flags. I'm a former snowball derby on here winner, so if that tells you anything about me and 5 Flags.
Well, you definitely got it done tonight, man. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
David Lux back at Victory Lane. Hey, good evening, Count. Thank you for the raid, just as we're about to do the same. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope everybody enjoyed tonight as much as we did. Don't forget, tomorrow night, either the Unicorn or I'll be streaming. Probably me, or back's still pretty bad. But we will be here to entertain you every night, so make sure you tune in, say hi, come tell us a joke, and hang out. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hope y'all had as much fun as we did. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, y'all.